Welcome back to Sam and Ham.
This is Sam.
And this is Ham. And what are we doing today?
We're gonna do more bard things. Not the fun kind.
I was gonna say, are we romancing dragons today?
I wish, but no, we're not. We're going over the subclasses of bards, particularly starting with the College of Lore.
We are. So,
as you see on screen.
You can. So, if you remember in the Barbarian video, I was talking to you about how every class has a subclass that is just that class, but more so.
Ah, the bardest of bards.
Yes, the vanilla bard, if you will.
Ah.
That is this one. They are made in the Player's Handbook. We're going to be doing a little bit different today. We're going to try to go by the date that these came out. So we're going to try to go to the Player's Handbook ones first, and then go to Xanathar's and then Tasha's in order. That way, we see how it evolves as time goes on.
Okay.
So
just to clarify, the College of Lore bard is the vanilla bard.
Yes.
Is that the dragon seducing bard?
It can be. Doesn't have to be.
Okay, continue.
So the College of Lore is just, like I said, the bard's bard. When you join level 3, remember, bards don't get a whole lot of abilities from any subclass. So honestly, as a creator of homebrew, it's a little bit difficult to make a subclass really feel like its own thing when you only get 3 levels to give abilities to.
Okay.
Most bards do get 2 abilities at level 3, and then 1 at level 6, and then 1 at level 14. So, the abilities they get here, they get bonus proficiencies. They get proficiency with 3 more skills.
Ah.
No, so the bonus proficiencies here, bards used to be one of the best skill monkeys in older editions and in Pathfinder, so this just kind of plays into that more.
We like our skill monkeys.
Yes. So, with this subclass, you have 6 skills you're proficient in. That's more than any other class in the game.
That's 2 more than the rogue.
It is.
I don't know anything about rogues.
I think she knows a little about rogues.
I know nothing.
The other ability they get, you remember your Bardic Inspiration die?
Yeah. Bardic Inspiration. That's the, hey kid, do good stuff.
Yeah, do you remember any specifics about it?
You have to use it before the DM tells you it passes or fails.
Yes. And how do you give it to people? What kind of action?
Bonus action.
Hey, there you go. And how many do you have a day?
As many as your level.
No.
Damn.
Charisma modifier.
As many as the charisma modifier.
There you go.
So bards want charisma for that inspiration.
Yep. That is why they are the class of high charisma. So anyway, a lot of these subclasses are also going to give you another way to use your Bardic Inspiration. Mm-hmm. For example, lore bards here get cutting words.
Ouch.
Whenever a creature you can see within 60 feet of you makes an attack roll, ability check, or a damage roll, you can use your reaction and one of your uses of Bardic Inspiration, and then roll your Bardic Inspiration and subtract that number from whatever they did. So, if an enemy were to make an attack against your fighter, after they roll, but before the...
before the DM confirms the hit?
Yes. Then you can use your reaction to try to reduce it and hopefully save your fighter from getting hit.
Ah. That's cool. So, literally, they go to swing and you go, hey, bud, you suck. And then all of a sudden he misses because he's distracted.
Hey, Goblin, your mom's a little bitch. Basically, yeah. So yeah, they get to do that. They can't, the creature's immune if they're immune to being charmed.
So this doesn't work on elves. I think they're just resistant, not immune.
I think they are just resistant.
I just know charming an elf is not a good day.
No, I remember. Yeah, they just have advantage. They're not quite immune. More like you can't intimidate a rock. Or a living lightning bolt. So, next ability to get, level 6. Do you remember magical secrets?
Secrets that are magical?
Do you remember the ability?
Are those the secrets about the unicorns?
Nobody's supposed to know about those.
They're the secrets that allow you to just steal spells from other spellbooks. Like the ones from paladins or clerics.
Exactly.
Or wizards.
Do you remember what level that regular bards get it?
Level 500.
Anyway, regular bards get magical secrets at level 10. Lore bards actually get additional magical secrets at level 6, so they actually get it earlier than other bards.
Oh, that's cool.
That's why
4 levels early.
It is. That's pretty significant. That's why when you brought up your idea of a necromancer bard a while ago, I said you'd probably have to do a lore bard, because unless you want to wait till level 10, That's the soonest you can get animate dead.
Ah.
Yep.
I'm still gonna do that one day.
That's fair. I hope you do.
Good, good. I want a singing bard.
Well, they all sing.
Ah, a singing bard that also has backup dancers that are zombies.
That's better. Okay, and then level 14, you get Peerless Skill. Whenever you make an ability check, you can use you can expend a use of your Bardic Inspiration. You roll the die and add the number to the ability check. That's it.
Okay.
Very simple, but very useful. You get to inspire yourself even. You're that darn good.
Awesome.
So, that's the College of Lore.
So you say your mantra so many times, you actually believe it?
Yes.
Ah, good. One day I shall be a level 14 bard.
We could only hope. So, next up, this is the only other one from the Player's Handbook. This one is the College of Valor.
Valor.
These are your Scalds. These are your melee bards.
Ah, so not your goblin that you're playing in a current campaign?
No, we're gonna get to that guy. Don't you worry, we'll get to him.
What is he?
You'll see. So these guys get bonus proficiencies, where the other guys get 3 skills. These guys get medium armor, shields, and martial weapons.
Oh.
Again, all very useful for being on the front line.
Yeah, especially for bards. Bards only get, what, light armor? Did we talk about that? We did talk about that. Light armor. We totally did not talk about that an hour ago.
No. They get light armor, and then they get simple weapons, and then a few martial weapons, like long swords, short swords, hand crossbows, stuff like that. But they don't get, great swords. These guys get great swords.
I feel like a bard would want a great sword. Or at least a long sword.
Probably.
I was making a dick joke.
Ah! But, so, remember how I said they all get a different way to use their inspiration? These guys have combat inspiration. A normal bard's inspiration can be added to the attack roll, making you more likely to hit. These guys, their inspiration can be added to the damage roll, or you can use it to add to your AC. So if I am your bard, and you're the fighter, if I'm just a regular level 2 bard,
oof,
you can use my inspiration to make it more likely that you hit. If I am now a level 3 Valor Bard, you can still do that. You can still use the inspiration to make it more likely that you hit. Or, once you've confirmed that you hit, you can use my inspiration to do more damage. Or, when you get hit, you can use my inspiration to get more AC.
Okay.
Both of those uses are more useful to me than being more likely to hit. So, I'd say they're both very good, but it's honestly probably some of the better ways you can use inspiration.
Okay. I see you.
The problem with Valor Bard is a couple of their other abilities aren't as great.
Okay. Tell me about these not so great abilities.
Level 6, extra attack. Whenever you attack, you can attack twice.
I like that one.
It's good. It's fun. I like it. The problem being is having medium armor is not as good as having 3 skills. I promise you that. And having an extra attack is probably not as good as magical secrets. And then level 14, you get battle magic. Whenever you use your action to cast a bard spell, you can make a weapon attack as a bonus action. That's actually a really cool ability. I wish that you got it at a lower level to make it more impactful, but it is what it is, I suppose.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
That is unfortunate, but vroom vroom.
Vroom vroom. So you may have hinted at it before, but I do have a melee bard, and it is not one of these, so we'll have to see what maybe the next subclass is.
You're not wrong. Before we click off that Valor Bard, though.
Oh, hold on, let me go back.
I'm just thinking of the stats for this poor Valor Bard. He's going to be strong, and charismatic, and probably some constitution. No intel or wisdom.
No, and...
Or dex. He's going to be dumb, slow.
Well, yeah, you're right. You do start risking going really mad with builds like this. Because, as it is, if you're going for a really high dexterity build, you're not really going to be benefiting from the medium armor or the martial weapons, because you're already proficient with a rapier and light armor. So, really, these proficiencies are only handy if you're going to be doing a strength build. But you're still going to need some dexterity, because medium armor still scales with your dexterity a little bit. And so, yeah, if you've got to try to manage getting some strength to use these cool new weapons, some dexterity so your armor still works, some constitution so you don't just straight up die, and charisma to use all your bard abilities, you're splitting yourself pretty thin there.
You better roll well.
Yeah, that's the point. So, the next one to come out was in Xanathar's. 3 bards actually came out with Xanathar's, and we're starting off with the coolest one that's objectively my favorite.
The College of Swords?
Yep. This is what my bard is. They're fun. They're basically like blade jugglers, mock combatants. They're supposed to just be, think blade jugglers or people who put on really big shows with more like circus kind of fights.
The Greatest Showman.
Yes. So, you remember the proficiency we just got as a Valor Bard?
Mm-hmm.
These guys are similar. You get proficiency with medium armors and scimitars.
Uh-huh.
So medium armor, cool, kind of handy. You don't get any of the rest of those martial weapons, but you do get a scimitar. But like I said, you're already proficient with a rapier, you're already proficient with like a long and short sword. You don't really need the rest of the martial weapons. The one thing here that I would like from the Valor Bard is the shield. Having a shield would be handy, but we take what we can get.
I think it's weird that you have to have proficiency in shields.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like any idiot could pick up, you know, a plank of wood and hold it in front of them. I know there's more to it than that, but...
Well, I feel like I'd break an arm if a trained ogre tried to come smash my shield.
I'm just saying, if Cap could do it, I could do it.
That's fair.
Hashtag love Steve Rogers.
The other cool thing these guys get, though, is if you're proficient with that simple or martial melee weapon, you can use it as spellcasting focus for your bard spells.
Get out of the window, dummy.
So that actually comes in really handy if your DM's a bit of a stickler for spell components.
Okay.
Because technically, if a bard is holding, or if a Valor Bard's holding a shield in one hand and a sword in the other, he can't technically cast spells, because he can't do his somatic or material components.
Ah. I understand, but what if that bard decides to tuck the material components into his shield?
Unfortunately, you have to be a cleric to do that.
Well, unfortunate that my DM is very nice.
That's fair. Or you have to take the Warcaster feat, so... This is perk 1 of being a Sword Bard over a Valor Bard. Perk 2 is that you get a fighting style.
A fighting style?
Yeah, so if you actually dual wield, you can get 2-weapon fighting in order to actually be useful at what you do. Or if you just want to take the dueling style, that's just straight up 2 damage on every auto attack.
Cool.
Yeah. Very boring, very useful.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
And then here's the cool part. Blade Flourishes. So you remember those uses of bardic inspiration you have?
Yes.
Now, you can use a paladin-style divine smite.
We get to smite as a bard?
Yeah, basically.
What?
So, you get 3 different kinds, and you get to roll your die. Basically, like when you hit, you decide you're going to use one of these flourishes, and then you roll the die, you do bonus damage. All 3 of them do the bonus damage, and then they have an additional effect.
Okay.
So if you use defensive, that extra damage you just dealt is now added to your AC until the start of your next turn.
Okay.
That's my favorite, because as a melee bard, I get hit a lot.
Yeah.
There's slashing, which sounds cool. It's not as great as you'd think. It basically does that bonus damage to another guy that's next to the guy you just hit. So good for AoE situations. And then there's mobile flourish. You push the target 5 feet plus the damage number away from you.
Away.
Yes. And then you can immediately use your reaction to move up to your walking speed to an unoccupied space within 5 feet of that guy. So you knock him back and chase him down. Or you just knock him back and then run away.
Okay. I see.
Yep.
That's pretty cool stuff.
It is. Level 6 also, they get an extra attack, just like the Valor Bard. And then at level 14, they get Master's Flourish. Whenever you use your Blade Flourish option, their smites, you can roll a d6 and use it instead of using a Bardic Inspiration die. So you get to smite on every attack you make. That's awesome.
I do like that Forever Smite.
It's a low one, because remember, your Bardic Inspiration die scales up as you level up. So by level 14... Yeah, by level 14 it's a d10, and by level 15 it's a d12, so... d6 a little bit smaller, but just being able to use it unlimited times a day is pretty darn nice.
That is pretty nice.
So yeah. Best bard right there, where it's all downhill from here. Any questions so far?
All downhill?
I think so, but, I mean, some people would disagree.
Well, why do we have to go over the rest then if, you think, you know best?
Well, some people just have bad taste, and maybe you're one of them. You do like me, after all.
You're right. I'll probably like, what was that? The Bard of Glamour?
That is up next.
The Bard of Glamour.
Next up is the College of Glamour.
Glamour.
These are the guys who have high fashion. Generally they have some kind of tie to the Feywild. It says they're tutored by satyrs, Eladrin, and other Fey. These guys are pretty over the top.
Over the top?
Rather than under the bottom.
So they're always tops.
Well, no, these guys aren't tops. So, their first ability, it's pretty cool. It's called Mantle of Inspiration. As a bonus action, you can use one of your Bardic Inspiration die to grant yourself a wondrous appearance. When you do so, you choose a number of creatures who can see and hear you within 60 feet of you, up to a number equal to your Charisma modifier.
Cool.
Each of the creatures you choose gains 5 temporary hit points, and then they can use their reaction to move up to their speed without provoking attacks of opportunity.
Without provoking attacks?
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
It is. So basically, I hear this is actually, the temporary hit points scale when you hit certain levels, it turns to 8 at level 5, 11 at level 10, and then 14 at 15th level.
Oh, cool.
I'm told this one's actually just really useful because on the first round, on the first round of a fight, if you're caught out of position and, oh no, the wizard's on the front line because he was investigating something. Now all of a sudden, first round, the bard only has to use a bonus action and everybody gets to rearrange themselves and be exactly where they want. Or at least a lot closer,
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Next they have Enthralling Performance. So if you perform at least a minute, you can inspire wonder in your audience by singing, reciting a poem, or dancing. At the end of the performance, which again takes a minute, choose a number of humanoids within 60 feet of you who watched and listened to all of it, up to a number equal to your Charisma modifier. Each target must make a Wisdom saving throw or be charmed by you. While charmed in this way, they idolize you and speak glowingly of you to anyone who hears it. Hinders anyone who opposes you, avoiding violence unless it was already inclined to fight on your behalf.
Okay.
This effect ends on a target after 1 hour if it takes any damage, if you attack it, or if it witnesses you attacking or damaging any of its allies.
Cool.
If the target succeeds on its saving throw, the target has no hint that you tried to charm it. And you can only use that once per short rest.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool.
So
Other than the once per short rest bit.
Yeah, but it takes a minute to use. I don't know how often you're going to try to use that between short rests.
When I'm trying to get free food and booze for the night.
That was actually my first thought, was this is going to be cool if you're in a tavern and you just want to have, the general populace approve of you.
Yeah.
If you know somebody in the bar has it out for you, and then you can just inspire 5 other guys. They'll probably give you a warning.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, bro.
Hey, watch out.
I sounded cool. Be my lookout.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool.
Level 6, you get Magill.
Magill?
Magill! At level 6, you get Mantle of Majesty.
Okay.
As a bonus action, you can cast Command without expending a spell slot. And you take on the appearance of unearthly beauty for a minute, or until your concentration ends, as if you were concentrating on a spell. During this time, you can cast Command as a bonus action on each of your turns without expending a spell slot. Any creature charmed by you automatically fails its save against the command you cast with this feature. So you either lead in with Charmed Person, or that Enthralling Performance we just talked about, and now you get to issue commands every turn for a minute.
So at level 14, you become a siren, an Adonis siren.
That's level 6.
Oh, shit. I thought 14.
No. Level 14, your appearance permanently gains an otherworldly aspect that makes you look more lovely and fierce. In addition, as a bonus action, you can assume a magically majestic presence for a minute or until you're incapacitated. For the duration, whenever any creature tries to attack you for the first time on its turn, it must make a charisma saving throw against your spell save DC. On a failed save, it can't attack you this turn, and it must choose a new target for its attack, or the attack is wasted. On a successful save, it can attack you, but it has disadvantage on any saving throw it makes against your spells on your next turn. You can't use this ability again until you finish a short rest. So basically, people can't hit you, or if they do, you get to cast your spells on them at advantage. Or they have disadvantage on saves.
Interesting. So you're telling me, just to back up, make sure I understand. At 6th level, you cast Mantle of
It's harder to say than you thought, right?
cast Mantle of Majesty.
Yep.
And then instead of an action, it's a bonus action now to cast command.
Yep.
And as long as you're not hitting those people, or those people aren't really taking damage, they're just gonna pretty much have to do your command.
Well, if they're charmed already. So you can either lead in with, like, a charm person.
Uh-huh.
Or lead in with that ability, the enthralling performance. You have a couple of different ways you can charm people.
Okay. That's
Otherwise, and that's just to make it so they can't save. If you want to just cast command against people who you haven't charmed yet, you still can. They just get a save to resist it.
So what you're saying is we do the enthralling performance where the very attractive bard walks into the camp of, bandits, hooligans, bad guys.
Yeah.
Sings.
Yeah.
Charms them because they sing really well.
Well, okay. So you do have to stay alive for a minute.
Uh-huh.
So they can't hate you that much. And you can only charm a number equal to your charisma modifier. So, like, 4 or 5.
So you wanted to deceive the people, walk in as, a friend.
Yeah.
No one that's gonna get hurt. No.
Why would you?
You sing them a lovely song, because you're offering them entertainment for the night.
Mm-hmm.
You charm them. You command them.
Yep.
You now have an army of yes men.
Well, you can only command one at a time. So you can't have a whole army, but you can certainly have a henchman.
You have an army of yes men that will slowly follow you.
Yes, I suppose. So, much as I do appreciate my sword bard, this one is pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. I like that.
Okay. This one's another cool one.
Another cool one. Do tell.
This is called the College of Whispers. This is the probably most evil bard. This is the Assassin bard.
The Assassin bard.
Yeah.
Okay. What does this assassin do?
At level 3, you can coat your attacks in a magical poison.
Ah.
When you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can expend a use of your bardic inspiration to deal an extra 2d6 psychic damage to the target. You can only do this once per round. The damage increases at certain levels.
Okay, that damage increases with your bardic die, I'm assuming?
No, it goes up to 3d6 at level 5, 5d6 at level 10, and 8d6 at level 15.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. Also at level 3, you get Words of Terror. If you speak to a human alone for at least a minute, you can attempt to seed paranoia and fear into their mind. At the end of the conversation, they must make a wisdom saving throw, or be frightened of you or another creature of your choice. The target is frightened in this way for an hour, or until it's attacked or damaged, or witnesses its allies being attacked or damaged. If the target succeeds on its save, it has no hint that you tried to frighten it.
Okay.
You can kind of see how this one's kind of similar to the Glamour one.
I do like that it says they have no idea if they succeed, so that means,
It's a good clause, because you don't want to get, caught that you were trying to intimidate people, or
that
magically
sucks
charm
when
them.
you charm person and you fail.
Yeah. So you just get somebody alone, and you have a really good intimidation on them.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. I like that.
Level 6, you get Mantle of Whispers. When a humanoid dies within 30 feet of you, you can magically capture its shadow using your reaction.
Oh.
You retain the You retain the shadow until you finish a long rest. So you only get it for a day. You can use this shadow as an action. When you do so, it vanishes, but you magically transform it into a disguise that appears on you. You now look like the dead person, but healthy and alive. This lasts for 1 hour or until you end it as bonus action. While you're in the disguise, you gain access to all information that the humanoid would freely share with a casual acquaintance. Such information includes general details on its background and personal life, but doesn't include secrets.
No secrets.
The information is enough that you can pass yourself off as the person by drawing on its memories, though.
Okay.
Another creature can see through the disguise by making a wisdom insight check contested by your deception check. But you do get +5 to the deception check.
Okay.
Once you have captured a shadow with this feature, you can't capture another one until you finish a short or long rest.
Okay, so if you really need, info to sneak into a camp, you might not be able to get that, but you might be able to pass yourself off as Gary, the front doorsman.
Yeah, I mean, just picture this so far. You've got a level 6 bard. Mm-hmm. He is probably an assassin of some kind. So he sneaks in because he has expertise in stealth, right? Mm-hmm. He finds one guard alone.
That poor guy.
Talks to him for a minute. Makes him terrified of him. Then, if the terrify isn't enough, he can stab him, using psychic poison. As soon as he kills him, he captures his shadow, transforms to look like him, and has enough, like, gumption to pass off himself as that guy to the other cards.
Poor Gary from accounting, man.
Dude, he does not have a good time. Last ability they get is called Shadow Lore.
Okay. What does Shadow Lore do?
You gain the ability to weave dark magic into your words and tap into a creature's deepest fears. As an action, you magically whisper a phrase that only one creature of your choice within 30 feet of you can hear. The target must make a wisdom saving throw. It automatically succeeds if it doesn't share a language with you or it can't hear you. Okay. On a successful saving throw, your whisper sounds unintelligible mumbling and has no effect. If it fails, it's charmed by you for 8 hours or until you or your allies attack or damage it. It interprets the whispers as a description of its most mortifying secret.
Oh. So you don't have to say, "You're terrified of bumblebees." You just say the magic word charm, wizard spell, and all of a sudden they hear, "You're terrified of bees, aren't you?" I'm just assuming everybody's terrified of bees.
So, while you gain no knowledge of the secret, the target is convinced that you know it. While charmed in this way, the creature obeys your commands for fear that you will reveal its secret. It won't risk its life for you or fight for you unless it was already inclined to do so. Oh. It does grant you favors and gifts it would to a close friend, though. When the effect ends, a creature has no understanding of why it held you in such fear. Can't use this ability again until you finish a long rest.
So they don't even remember that you whispered their deepest, darkest secret?
No, they just know they were afraid of you.
Interesting.
Yeah, you basically look at somebody, you whisper unintelligibly, I realized the microphone didn't pick that up, and they go, "Did that guy just know that I hate bees?"
Probably, dude. Don't fuck with him.
So, yeah, that's the Assassin Bard. Any questions?
So the Assassin Bard. Psychic damage?
Yeah.
Cool.
These guys are the College of Creation.
Creation?
Yep, these are the Summoner Bards.
Summoner Bards?
Yep.
That's almost as cool as a Necromancer Bard. How come I can't Necromancy with a Creation?
Well, you'll see what these guys do in a minute.
Ah, they're lame.
Not lame. So they get a Note of Potential.
A note?
Yep. Whenever you give a creature your Bardic Inspiration die, you can utter a note from the Song of Creation to create a tiny mote of potential, which orbits around 5 feet near that creature. The mote is intangible and invulnerable and lasts until the Bardic Inspiration die is lost. The mote looks like a musical note, a star, a flower, or another symbol of art or life that you choose. So you make a little tiny holographic star follow somebody.
Cool.
When the creature uses your Bardic Inspiration die, the mote provides additional effects based on whether the die benefits an ability check, attack roll, or saving throw as detailed below.
Uh-huh.
If they use the Bardic Inspiration to help out with an ability check, like a skill, the creature can roll the Bardic Inspiration die again and choose which roll to use. So basically they get to roll the Bardic Inspiration with advantage. Mm-hmm. If they use it on an attack roll, the target of the attack, and each creature your choice you can see within 5 feet of it, must make a Constitution saving throw. And on a fail, take thunder damage equal to the damage rolled on the Bardic Inspiration die.
Oof.
And if they use it to help out with a saving throw, the creature gains temporary hit points equal to the roll of the Bardic Inspiration die, plus your Charisma modifier.
Okay.
So, yeah, just small bonuses to help out with what you're already going to be doing.
Cool.
And then, the Performance of Creation. As an action, you channel the magic of the Song of Creation to create one non-magical item of your choice in an unoccupied space within 10 feet of you. The item must appear on a surface or liquid that can support it. The gold value of the item can't be more than 20 times your bard level, and the item must be medium or smaller. The item glimmers softly, and a creature can faintly hear music when touching it. The item created disappears after a number of hours equal to your proficiency bonus. For examples of items you can create, see the equipment chapter of the player's handbook. Once you create an item with this feature, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest. Unless you expend a spell slot of 2nd level or higher, then you can use this feature again.
Or higher?
Yeah, higher. You can only have one item created by this feature at a time, and if you use an action and already have an item for this feature, the first one immediately vanishes. The size of the item you can create increases by one size category when you hit 6th level to large, and by another at level 14 to huge.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
And then, Animating Performance. At 6th level, as an action, you can target a large or smaller non-magical item that you can see within 30 feet of you to animate.
Okay.
The item uses the dancing item stat block below and uses your proficiency bonus. The item's friendly to you and your companions and obeys your commands. It lives for an hour or until it reduces 0 hit points. Or until you die. You know, one of the three. In combat, it shares your initiative count, but takes the turn immediately after you. It can move and use its reaction on its own, but the only action it can take is the dodge action unless you use your bonus action to tell it what to do.
Okay.
When you use your Bardic Inspiration feature, you can command the item as part of the same bonus action you use for your Bardic Inspiration. Because otherwise you're starting to get a really rough bonus action economy.
Yeah, I can see that.
And so then, once you animate an item with this feature, you can't do it until you finish a long rest, unless you expend a spell slot of 3rd level or higher to use this feature again, and you can only have one of these items at a time. So this is kind of the stat block, if you want to. It's pretty standard. The hit points are 10 plus 5 times your bard level.
Okay.
It's got a fly speed, so they can fly.
Cool.
They're strong as heck, though. Whenever a creature starts its turn within 10 feet of the item can increase or decrease the speed of that creature by 10. So you can speed up yourself or an ally or slow down an enemy.
Cool, cool.
And then it has just a regular attack.
Also cool. I like that.
Yeah, so I mean, really, if you wanted to reflavor that as a zombie, you could.
That's not as fun.
You're right, it's not. And then last ability, Creative Crescendo. At 14th level, when you use your Performance of Creation feature, you can create more than one item at once. The number of items equal to your Charisma modifier.
That's a lot of items.
It is. Probably like 5 at this level. I mean, let's be honest. Level 14 bards should have maxed out Charisma.
You would think.
If you would create an item that would exceed that number, you have to get rid of some. Only one of these items can be up to the maximum size, and the rest must be either small or tiny. It kind of sucks.
That does.
And you're no longer limited by the gold value while creating items, so you can make anything of any value.
Ah, so you can make a red ruby?
I think so.
That's cool. Let's animate a ruby.
I'm gonna fight people with gold!
Yeah, I would. How upset would they be?
You know, it'd be pretty off-putting. But any questions on these guys?
No, I think I'm following along so far. I'm pretty
Okay.
impressed. I don't know why you hate them so much.
I mean, they're fine.
Uh-huh.
They just don't use swords. And so, therefore, why would I want to play one?
You played a wizard before. Did that wizard have a sword?
I mean, he had one. He couldn't swing it very well.
Mm-hmm. You say so.
Last guy we got up here, also from Tasha's, is the College of Eloquence. These guys are the Bard's Bard. I wanted to go over these. Yeah, I wanted to go over these guys last because I think these guys are pretty darn good.
You think so?
I do think so. They don't use swords, but even I gotta admit, they got some skills. So, Silver Tongue, right? 3rd level. Whenever you make a Persuasion or Deception check, you can treat a roll of 9 or lower as a 10.
Oh, that's pretty big.
Yeah, so even just a level 3 bard, you minimum out at a 10. Let's say you have expertise and, plus 3 to persuasion, or plus 3 to charisma. That means you have a minimum of a 17 on a persuasion roll.
Yeah.
At level 3, that's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
And then, also at level 3, you get Unsettling Words. As a bonus action, you can expend to use your Bardic Inspiration and choose a creature within 60 feet of you. Then you roll the Bardic Inspiration die, and the creature must subtract the number rolled from the next saving throw it makes before the start of your next turn.
Big oof.
So this bard is kind of a selfish bard, but it's good at anything that requires a wisdom saving throw. Like Charm Person.
Okay.
Or Hold Person.
Okay.
Or Dominate Monster.
Ah, Dominate Monster.
So I would say this is the Dragon Lovin' subclass.
The eloquence is what is needed to
Yes.
seduce a dragon.
I believe so. Level 6, you get Unfailing Inspiration. This one's awesome. Probably my favorite bard ability.
Oh, yeah?
Whenever a creature adds your Bardic Inspiration die to an ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, and still fails, they get to keep the inspiration.
That's cool.
So now, there's no reason not to do it, unless you really need to save it. But nothing feels worse than, wasting the Bardic Inspiration.
Yeah?
Now, you don't gotta worry about that. It never goes to waste.
Awesome.
Also at level 6, you get Universal Speech. As an action, choose one or more creatures within 60 feet of you, up to the number of your charisma modifier, so up to 5. The chosen creatures can magically understand you regardless of the language you speak for an hour.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
if that dragon don't speak common, now he do.
He do.
Lastly, they get Infectious Inspiration. The power of your eloquence can now spread to someone else. Whenever a creature within 60 feet of you adds one of your Bardic Inspiration die to an ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, and then succeeds, which again, they can't fail, you can use your reaction to encourage a different creature other than yourself that can hear you within 60 feet, giving it a bardic inspiration die without expending any use of your bardic inspiration.
Cool.
You can only use this a number of times equal to your charisma modifier, and you get them back on a long rest. But that's awesome! You're basically getting, like, even more inspiration out, and you don't even gotta use your bonus action to do it.
Yeah, that sounds like it doubles your inspiration there.
Basically, if you're going only for one fight, this ability comes back on a long rest, whereas at level 5, all your bardic inspiration comes back on a short rest. But yeah, basically, if it's just one fight you're worried about in a day, you're getting double your inspiration out in a fight.
Alright, so...
And twice as fast.
Alright, so rules is written. You cast bardic inspiration. Some guy uses it and it succeeds.
Yeah.
You cast it for free on someone else.
Yep.
They use it and succeed.
Yep.
You can't do it again. That's where the chain ends? Or do you have to use another infectious inspiration counter to do it? Is this the charm that never ends?
You can get the chain going. The chain keeps going, because it just says when it uses bardic inspiration, and you give it bardic inspiration with this feature.
That's crazy.
Admit, again, you can only do this up to 5 times, but yeah, you can just keep that chain going.
I love it.
But do keep in mind, it does take a reaction to use, so the chain would happen over multiple turns.
Okay.
But, so it's not like, fighter passes the barbarian, barbarian passes the rogue, rogue passes the wizard. It does, you got one a turn.
Okay.
But that's still pretty darn slick, right?
Alright.
So these guys can talk in any language. They never have to worry about their bardic inspiration getting wasted. It spreads to other people, and they can't make a bad persuasion roll. What bard doesn't want these abilities? Because, don't get me wrong, as a sword bard, I'm having a great time, but there are times where my sword bard abilities are kind of worthless. I don't think there's a single moment in any campaign where any of these abilities would be really wasted.
No, I don't think so.
The only one that might not come in handy is the universal speech if you're in a world where everybody speaks common.
Yeah?
But the minute that something comes up, this one's super good. I think this is probably the strongest subclass.
Yeah, definitely. Hype. Yeah, definitely.
So,
it's pretty cool.
Any questions on this one?
I rolled to seduce the dragon.
Well, you can't roll less than a 9.
Nat 20.
Nat 20. So, any questions on any of the bard subclasses that we've talked about today?
No, bard seems cool overall. Vanilla bard seemed pretty great. I liked glamour. Eloquence is a pretty good contender.
So, if you had to make a bard tomorrow, which subclass would you pick?
Whichever one got me necromancy the fastest.
Lower bard it is. You really can't go wrong there. That's fair. But with that, that's all the subclasses we have to cover today.
Awesome. Well, that was fun and a great learning experience.
I'm glad you think so. But with that, I think we're going to call it a day here.
All right. But don't forget to check out our other videos. I've been working really hard on making some great flags for our campaign that we've been running.
That's true, and just a couple of weeks ago we did the Barbarian video, in case anybody's trying to learn that.
Until then, this is Sam.
And this is Ham. And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye-bye.